Welcome back to my car cave. Got another new car for you to review, this time from the 2022 Miami Grand Prix, as you can see on the box. This is the Williams car. This car specifically is Alex Albon's car, which he finished ninth in this race after qualifying a dismal 18th. So great performance from him. You can see it's a limited 111 pieces. This is from CK Model Cars. Comes in this fantastic clamshell box. The Miami logos on it, that kind of stuff. And then you open it up and you have this nice display with the information from the race, picture of the race car itself, and the car. So let's go ahead and get it out of the box and we'll look at it up close. Okay, now we got it out of the box, so let's go ahead and look at this. Again, this is a Minichamps. It's a resin model. Therefore, as we've talked in other videos, the wheels do not spin, nor do they turn in any direction. That's pretty consistent with resin models these days. As with all Minichamps 2022 F1s, the front wing is a single mold for all these planes. A bit disappointing, but we've talked about that enough. I'm not going to belabor that. Same with the rear wing. It's a single mold for this dual plane. Again, disappointing, but it is what it is. Those are Minichamps. That's what they went with that year, but they are making changes. They do have some photo etch parts on here for the tiebacks or the stabilizers. This is a time when we're having a lot of the bouncing going on in the cars, and so these tiebacks were implemented a few races into the season. You also get photo etch parts for the antenna aerials up front. That's different on the die cast. These are plastic, so these do look pretty good. Other than that, it's a pretty good high quality model. It's a Williams. It's really different from the other cars that came out that year in design and style. Here again, also new for 2022 are these kind of iridium reflective lenses on the helmets. I really like that touch. It's why I'm kind of drawn to the Minichamps for this season. So let's go ahead and I'll talk about some other parts of the car now. So interestingly on this car, so this car comes in two variants that have been released now, and there'll be a third variant. The third one is more reflective of an aerodynamic change than anything. But this one, the first version, the original launch, and then this one, the paint scheme is very different. This is a time when Williams felt like their cars were heavy, and their solution was to have more exposed carbon fiber and less paint, and that seems to be a ongoing trend, which sounds cool, but honestly, it's making the cars kind of boring in the paint schemes. But Williams, in my mind, was kind of the tipping point of where that kind of thought process started. So to do this, Minichamps is having to do a lot of decaling. So what you get is nice carbon fiber decaling here, the usual stuff on the wings and that kind of stuff. You get them on I call it the front wing, or sorry, the front wheel eyebrows. Get it on the rear wing as well. Again, I've always been highly complimentary of Minichamps' carbon fiber decaling. Accurate or not, it looks good. But so again, on this car, what I find interesting is all of this blue is all decaling. So this entire car is pretty much decaled. Maybe it's matte black underneath here, and then everything else is decaled underneath it. But yeah, it'll be curious how this car holds up to time and sun and that kind of stuff. I do put my cars in display cases, but there are windows in the room and that kind of stuff. So it'll be interesting because this is a lot of decal for a model. Most models have some kind of base paint with a decal on top. That said, Minichamps does do a good job with decaling, so we'll see how that holds up. But just wanted to point out that largely this is this is decals, not paint. And frankly, it doesn't show as well as paint would be. They've done a decent job to make it metallic, but when you reference it online, it's not quite as sparkly or glossy as it would have been had it been real paint. So anyways, just wanted to highlight that. So this specific version is the Miami Grand Prix, and so with that you get Albon's specific race-specific helmet, which is this kind of blue light blue helmet, kind of an ocean graphic on here. This purple lens on it. I really like that versus the regular season release, which is his matte blue kind of helmet. Anyways, I think this one stands out. It looks prettier to me. So part of the reason I waited so long to get a Williams into my collection. Again, I tend to favor waiting to get the one I want rather than just buying the first ones that come out. So I'm never going to be the first one to have a model in most instances. Also on this one, because Miami Williams had this kind of nice little graphic painted into their standard W. I'll take a photo of it because I'm not sure it's showing up on video. You get the same little graphic here, which I think is pretty neat. Different than 4. This race, I believe, is when they implemented this Duracell logo. They use that kind of periodically throughout the season. It wasn't at every race, and not sure what the sponsorship deal was, but that's was here for this particular race. It's kind of cool. It provides this kind of gold or copper element, which neat. It's kind of neat, and this obviously looks like the Duracell battery. So good job to the team doing the liveries and whatnot. Also specific to this race, I think, yeah, that's about it. I think, so yeah, anyways. Given that we had a big change in design of concept for the 2022 regs versus 2021, I thought I'd show you the 2021 car as well. And you can kind of see, obviously, very different cars, different sizes, different wheels, all that kind of stuff. I've covered the differences in other videos for other cars. But one thing that was unique to me for Williams was this design. Everybody else kind of had a trailing cowling here from the radiators and that kind of stuff. And Williams really kind of stuck with their 2019 look side pods, which really is different than what everybody else was running at the time. Force India, also having Mercedes engines, kind of copied it at one point, or I guess, sorry, Red Racing Point at the time. Sorry, not Force India. So to me, it was really unique that Williams carried this over. If you look at the top of this car, it's almost identical to the 2019 car. You got this, old school Coke bottle shape to it. Very sunken in here and narrow in this section, whereas most of the cars had kind of had these big cowlings or side pods, which they later shrank up as they evolved. But Williams was definitely an outsider. That said, the Williams was not a great performing car, and later in the season they went to a more traditional looking rear side pod shape and aerodynamic shape to it. So wasn't effective, but definitely it's different than what we had in the other cars. So as for my collection, it makes it unique and different. Also, they had this kind of rounded nose, this curved nose that then flattened out at the top that I thought was super unique. And yeah, so anyways, just wanted to share these two cars. And I don't think I've ever done a video on this one, but this is the 2021. This is George Russell before he moved over to Mercedes. Great livery. I think this is just super unique. I mean, they don't have a lot of sponsors, so they do the best they can. It's disappointing given Williams' history that they are where they are these days. But that's the business. That's cutthroat. I think Red Bull just eclipsed them in total wins this past weekend with Max's win in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix 2024. So kind of interesting to see a team that started, I think, 2004, 5, 6, after being Jaguar before that and Stewart Racing before that, has already eclipsed Williams' total wins for their historic team. So anyways, those are the two cars I just wanted to highlight quickly, some differences before moving on. So anyways, if you like the video, go ahead and subscribe, like. I'll try to provide more videos soon as I get more stuff in. Thank you.